Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another CYPRX video breakdown. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how I made roughly around $10,000 in total today trading MNQ, roughly about $2,000 on each of my 5 funded accounts. And I'm going to break that down for you guys in detail. So we're going to start off on the higher time frame, but before we even do that, I just want to show you guys the level of accuracy that these institutional deltas that we provide inside the private CypherX community give ahead of the curve. So showing you guys timestamps, because so many people on the internet will be like, oh, your software and your algorithms, they don't work. That's not how dark pools exist and work and blah, 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 blah. I'm here to show you guys proof is in the pudding, and the people that actually want access to this information, it exists. It's here for you. Stop believing the people on the internet that lack education and don't want to further their education to enlighten themselves on what is actually being built out and what is available to us as retail investors now in the space in the CypherX private community. So coming up here, just to show you guys that we give these things in advance. Here you can see an update on MNQ via our institutional scalper. Looking at the timestamp, it says Tuesday, November 18th. As of time of recording, it is Thursday, November 20th. So if we click on this, you can see the institutional deltas at around 25052 and the 25151. Those levels played a very important role in my trade today, because I was looking to see if once we broke these levels, we could retest them and turn them into support. But you can see clear as day, our algorithms generated these levels well in advance. That is the most important part of today's video breakdown, to show you guys the level of accuracy. You can see where MNQ was trading when our scalper sent out the screenshot at roughly around 24,756. So way ahead of those levels ever being reached. Now, if we come over here to the charts, taking a look at why I took this trade today, it was a very clean setup. We saw a higher low formed at the beginning of New York session open, roughly at about 8:30 a.m. in this candlestick here. That formation led to a break in market structure. And so I was simply just getting in on this pullback momentum after we came in and we respected the deltas. In a nutshell, that is my trade. So let's break that down. First, showing you guys how if I click on this box and we're paying attention to this red box, the bottom of this red line and the top of this red line, this line in the middle is an institutional dark pool at the 25123, which you can also see in advance. We head over here. We had well before the level was met. Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. If we click on NQ, dark pools, you can see the level 25123 well before price action was trading there at 24756. And so coming back over here, all of that played a very key role, because you can see prior to the New York session, and we're on the 5-minute chart, mind you, prior to the New York session, you can see a higher low formed right at the tip of a institutional dark pool at the 25123. I annotated that doing my pre-market analysis, and that provided bullish structure. So for today's session, simply all I was thinking to myself was, we are supporting bullish order flow above an institutional sell dark pool. So as long as this A to B move holds, I'm going to attempt to remain in a bullish bias, or I'm going to buy. I even said to the private community members today, if we go into the premium chat, because I always deliver my bias for you all in advance, someone had asked me what I think the market's going to do. Somebody said risk off or risk on market today. I said Nvidia earnings came out strong and the labor market isn't too bad. I personally will be looking for buying opportunities today unless structure screams otherwise. So seeing that price action was bullish prior to the New York session, respecting institutional sell deltas with bullish order flow above, right when the New York session opened, which is 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, 8:30 a.m. here for me in Texas, you can see we continued that bullish formation. Price action dropped straight down into the top of the institutional delta. Again, clicking on this box, you can see the coordinates. The top of the coordinates are the 25052 and the 25151 are the bottom of the coordinates of that rectangular box. Again, coming back over here to the institutional dark pool information that we have in the private CypherX community, you can see that those levels are exactly the ones that Scalper gave on Tuesday, well in advance, 25052 and 25151. So I'm just trying to show you guys, I'm not trying to sound arrogant or be like, aha, we told you so, or none of that stuff. I'm just trying to show you guys how I'm able to be so accurate with the information that we have. paying attention to structure, paying attention to how order flow is reacting above or below these dark pools and these deltas that we have access to well before the vast majority of retail participants. Okay. Coming back over here. Now that you guys have seen price action again prior to the New York session, because this is about an hour before the New York session opened here, was bullish above the institutional dark pool. So we made a higher low in comparison to previous structure, and we made a new high. So all I was simply saying to myself was, as long as we are in this A to B range and price is above this level here, I'm going to attempt to continue to buy, or at least look for buy scalps, right? And so sure enough, price pulled back into the bottom of this range, and we respected the top of the delta. Now, I personally don't buy before 8:30 or participate, just generally speaking, as a market participant before 8:30, before the New York session open. So here is that New York session open, and we continued the bullish structure: higher high, higher low, higher high formation. So here's the one, right? So we can think of this as the first move: one, breaking a structure formation high; two, and so simply all that was left for me to do was wait for a pullback and enter in at a discount. As a buyer, I don't want to chase the market and enter in at a top. So all I simply did was waited for the market to pull back. And then once price pulled back into a discount, taking my fib from the low at the beginning of New York session that was created at 8:30 to the high where price started to pull back, you can see that price came straight down to that 79% sweet spot that I go over in the private CYPRX advanced community on how I set up my personal Fibonacci retracement to give me a good risk to reward for solid entries. Okay, so that's kind of like the 5-minute time frame of what I was seeing. We also can see in terms of the triple moving average crossover, which is the only retail indicator that I utilize, we can see clear as day that the triple moving average remained below price action. Remember, I've told you guys that if the triple moving average is supporting price action underneath of price, then the most likely outcome until that level is broken and price flips bearish underneath of that is buy positions. So that was also another confluence that I added today for my technical analysis. Now, if we jump down to the lower time frame to go over the entry, we can jump down to the 30 seconds chart. We can take a look. So sure enough, here is the New York session open area. We can see that they manipulated buyers and sellers. They liquidated any early buyers. They then ran the market to the upside. This was that break in structure. So this was the new A to B move that broke all of this previous bearish price action. So just taking a look at this, this is the New York session open. We don't trade at 8:30 a.m. We wait for the manipulative tactics to unfold. They liquidated lows, and then they shifted momentum. Buyers showed strength, overpowering all the sellers that previously existed prior to the session, and the overall trend continued. So coming into the New York session, all I was simply thinking to myself was, I want to continue with that trend. We're above an institutional dark pool, and all of this price manipulation, mind you, again, happened at the top of a delta. So think about that. You don't want to trade against that order flow. You don't want to try to sell when the market's not giving you any sell signals yet. You want to attempt to move in tandem with the flowing river, if you call it that, right? Or the ocean or whatever you want to call the markets. So sure enough, when the market pulled back into that discounted area, again, dropping down to the lower time frame, all that was left for me to do was look for the market maker pattern. That is, again, when price comes down into your area of interest. So you set up that area of interest, which I told you was the tippy top of the delta. So for this box right here, the top of the delta would be right here. Well, prior to the session, what did we see? We saw price break through the delta. Then we saw them turn the bottom of the delta into support, and then they broke the delta prior to the session. And so all that was left for me to do was wait for price to come back down into a discount to then continue to look for buy positions. So that is exactly what I did today. Sure enough, we can see coming over here to my position and my entry, which again, I recorded live for you guys. You guys are going to be able to see me enter in real time. As price trickled and made its way down, simply all I did was I trailed this price action with a buy stop. Price came down into this area. This is where the market had entered me in with the buy stop right on this bullish move. I took my stop loss and I made it nice and tight beneath the low. I was in drawdown for a slight bit of time. Nonetheless, my analysis was correct. The market moved back to the upside, took out the highs, I was commentating all here in this area during the live trading session, letting you guys know that there was a huge battle between buyers and sellers, which we can see. I held through that manipulation and I was able to take profit right here on this pullback. Once the market showed me that buyers were getting trapped at highs, buyers then tried to make an attempt to continue with their aggression and break. They failed. They got trapped at highs again. That was a good sign for me to get out of this trade. And sure enough, my analysis was correct. Taking profit was accurate because now you can see in real time the market has completely retraced the entire move, which is why it's so important not to marry a bias and instead react in real time to the information that we give in the private CYPRX community. You guys can do that with the order flow, with the CYPRX 2.0 technical analysis and the foundation, the confluences that we look for. This was a super clean setup and trade today. Nothing extensive, utilizing the tools that we have in the community to really just snipe the markets and become our own banks, right? So hopefully you guys enjoyed this breakdown. I wanted to keep this video relatively short. You guys also have the live recording to throw that in there and watch me take this position in real time. With that being said, hopefully I see you guys on the inside in the private CYPRX community. Head over to cyprxtrading.com. Try out our software for yourself. See how accurate it is, whether you're a day trader or an investor in crypto, forex, commodities, futures, doesn't matter. Our algorithms can pick up deltas and dark pools on any asset and trading pair. You guys have direct access to the info. Try it out for a month. We'd love to see you on the inside. As always, many blessings to you guys. Be cognizant, be aware, and I'll see you all in the next video breakdown.
Order filled.
All right, let's see if this can run or if this is going to be a reversal because there's a imbalance that we're coming up into right now. We need to break above it or this is going to dump. And I'm going to feel really stupid. We got to break above this level right now or she's going to fucking take a piss. Buyers got to be, they're trying to become aggressive right now. They're trying it. Sellers are throwing up a defense. We could break above this. She's gone. We need to do it with aggression. Sellers are defending. Come on, buyers. Buyers are getting trapped. Sellers are throwing up that resistance, that defense. Big seller. Let's see. Am I making a second attempt? Let's see. Here's our second attempt. Let's see if buyers can break it. There they go. They're going to attempt. Sellers put up a defense. Buyers are trying. Come on, buyers. They just need not to get trapped. Nope. They got fucking trapped again. Here they go. They're going to try again. Let's see. Sellers are trapping them. This is so crazy to watch this battle in real time. If sellers win here, this is going to take a piss. If not, buyers are going to pump this thing back to the highs. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times sellers have defended against this level. Here they go. Come on, buyers. Push to the resistance. They got trapped. Come on now. Turn it into support. Let's go. Big buyer trapped at a high right here. Big battle between buyers and sellers. Who's going to fucking win? Come on, buyers. Push this shit. Nope. Sellers just trapped a huge buyer. Sellers are trying so hard to fucking stop buyers right now. I'm just worried about if they win. The sellers are trapping y'all. I just don't want to get out of it if buyers win, but they're getting trapped. Pretty sure this is going to turn around and take a piss. Here we go. Let's see if buyers can break the high or if they get trapped at 25281. Sellers are trying here. Who's stronger? Who's stronger today, boys? Big buyer trapped. Let's see. Whoa, come on, buyers. Oh, big buyer trapped. Come on.
Order filled.